Hello and welcome to our second history lesson. You can pause the screen to get something to write with and to write on. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to begin with our knowing more, remembering more. The first question, 410 AD happened before 36 AD. Is that true or false? 410 AD happened before 36 AD. True or false? Pause the screen and write down the answer. Second question. Rome is a city in Spain, Italy, France, or Britain? Rome is a city in Spain, Italy, France, or Britain? Pause the screen and write down the answer. Question 3. Which areas of the world did Rome rule over during the empire? Which areas of the world did Rome rule over during the empire? Pause the screen and write down the answer. And the final question, when did the ancient Rome Empire and civilization fall? When did the ancient Rome Empire and civilization fall? Civilization fall. Pause the screen and write down the answer. Right, so let's see how you did. So the answer for the first question, 410 AD happened before 36 AD is actually false. It happened after 36 AD. Second question, Rome is a city in Italy. Third question, the areas of the world that Rome ruled over during the empire was Europe, Northern Africa, and Western Asia. And the final question, when did the ancient Roman Empire and civilization fall, was 476 AD. So I'm going to ask you to pause the screen. I've left the date open for you, so write down whatever date it is today. And the learning objective, how was ancient Rome ruled? Pause the screen. So your success criteria for today is you will be able to understand how ancient Rome was ruled. You can identify the three major periods of Roman history. You can describe the different forms of rules during the ancient Roman period, and you can clearly explain how ancient Rome was ruled. So unfortunately, you do not have your knowledge organized in front of you, but if you did, it would look like this. And we're going to be looking at empire, republics, senators, and consuls. So empire is a group of countries ruled by one ruler. The Roman Empire included much of Europe, Western Asia, and Northern Africa. Republic is a form of government in which people elect their leaders. Senators are a group of 300 leaders who shared power over the republic, and consuls are two men who ruled over the republic and were elected by the people of Rome. So these are words that you might know already. My turn, your turn. Ancient. Civilization. Empire. Rome. Roman. Monarchy. And these are words which you will meet today. Republic, consul, senator, emperor. Well done. So what do you already know about the ancient Roman civilization? We know that the ancient Roman civilization started in 735 BC. We know that in 509 BC, Rome becomes a republic. And in 27 BC, the Roman Empire begins as Caesar Augustus becomes emperor. Then, in 476 AD, the end of the Western Roman Empire came and the fall of ancient Rome. There are three periods of Rome within Roman history, which is marked by the way in which Rome was ruled. So we have 735 BC to 509 BC, which is the period of the kings. Then we have 509 BC to 27 BC, which is the Roman Republic. And then the third Roman period is 27 BC to AD 476, which is the Roman Empire. Have a look and see if you can answer the following questions. Which period was the longest? And in which period did the Romans invade Britain? So let's have a look at the period of the kings. The period of the kings was between 735 BC to 509 BC. During this period, one king had the power over ruling Rome. Romulus was the first king of Rome in 735 BC. The seventh and last king was Tarquin the Proud, who ruled until he was expelled from Rome. What does the name Tarquin the Proud suggest about his character? Pause the screen and see if you can answer that question. Okay, so maybe you said that because he has proud in his name, it suggests that he's proud and very confident. So let's have a look at a Roman Republic interpretation. What do you think this suggests? Pause the screen. Okay, I'm sure we have some fabulous answers. So let's have a look. 509 BC to 27 BC was the Republic era. When Tarquin the Proud was expelled, a new form of government was established, the Republic. The Republic was ruled by a group of 300 men called senators. And at the head of the Senate were two consuls. The consuls were elected, which means chosen by the people of Rome, and were advised by the senators, but they were only allowed to serve for 1 year. This was a revolutionary form of government, as the power of ruling Rome was shared between people. And it was actually the first time people could vote for who they wanted to have the power in their country. However, only people from the wealthy, upper class, and from certain families could be in the Senate. And only certain people, men, could vote. So that means us women, we would not have been allowed to. Julius Caesar. Let's have a look at what we can learn about his life and character from his Horrible Histories video.
Hadrian had his famous wall painted white so it would glisten majestically in the bright sunlight. He obviously didn't get up north much. The Roman general who first invaded Britain was Julius Caesar, and his is an interesting story.
Ave. Gaius Julius Caesar, dictator of Rome, consort of Cleopatra, and conqueror of Gaul.
Well, in this room, you're just a guy with a big nose and a plant on his head.
Okay. I would like to pitch the story of my rise to power, from the young adventurer who was kidnapped by pirates, to the general who invaded Britain, crushed the Gauls, crossed the Rubicon River, took control of Rome, and forged it into the greatest empire the world had ever seen.
Okay, we're interested.
Yes.
In the pirates.
Well, pirates are very big right now.
Johnny Depp. Ahoy, Captain Caesar, you got yourself a hit.
Who'd you see playing the talking parrot?
Sorry, what parrot?
All pirates have a parrot.
It's in the contract.
Sorry, look, me being kidnapped by pirates was just a small part of the story before I became the greatest general and statesman of the Roman age.
Yeah, you see, what I just heard was pirates, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I conquered Spain,
Blah.
France,
Blah.
Egypt.
Blah.
So are we making a pirate movie, or are you going to walk the plank to the Roman province of Loserville?
Okay, I was captured by pirates near Turkey. They wanted money for my return.
Pirates of the Mediterranean. Caesar's gold.
I was actually quite furious. Not because I'd been kidnapped, but because they'd asked for too little ransom. I told them to ask for more money.
It's a comedy.
Yeah, it was actually quite funny, because despite being their prisoner, I actually ordered them around all the time. I used to shout at them and tell them to stop being noisy when I was trying to sleep. It was hilarious. Actually, in the end, we became quite good friends.
Even better. It's a buddy-buddy movie with heart. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your Oscars. We got a hit.
Yeah, so anyway, in the end, they paid the ransom, I returned home, and then I hired a fleet of ships.
So you wouldn't miss hanging out with your friends, the pirates, and that's our happy ending.
No. So I could hunt them down and torture them to death, which I did. I killed them all. Pretty brilliant twist, right?
Yeah, the whole torturing to death thing, it plays quite badly with families.
May need an alternate ending here.
The talking parrot saves everyone and sings a song.
Works for me. Big nose, you came, you saw, you got yourself a movie deal.
Don't rest on your laurels.
That guy can rock a skirt.
So let's see what we had learned from that video. So we know that Julius Caesar used violence to gain power. We know he was proud. He was a great general of the Roman army. He made Rome into an empire. He invaded Britain. He conquered Spain, France, and Egypt. And he was egotistical, which means that he thought a lot of himself. And we know that because he told the people who had caught him and kept him hostage that they should have had a bigger ransom when he was kidnapped by the pirates. So whatever they asked for, he didn't think was good enough for him. Let's have a look at the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was between 27 BC and AD 476. In this period, Rome was ruled by a single emperor again, this time about as a result of the actions of Julius Caesar, Rome's greatest emperor. In 49 BC, there was a complete control of the army, but he wanted to rule Rome like a king again. Some senators didn't like this and they killed him in 44 BC, but it was too late by then. Julius Caesar had changed Rome. And if you look to the left of your screen, you can see some Roman coins in the Roman Empire era. A few years later, his adopted son Octavius took power and became the first emperor of Rome. He called himself Caesar Augustus, as seen on the coin. Emperors had the power of ruling over Rome. What I want you to do is sort these statements, okay? So you can pause the screen once I've read them to you and see if you can sort these out. So Rome was ruled by one person. Rome was ruled by more than one person. This era came about as a result of the actions of Julius Caesar. Government consisted of a senate which had 300 men in it. It ended in 509 BC. A revolutionary form of government in which leaders were elected by the people of Rome. Ended with the reign of Tarquin the Proud. Leaders were only allowed to serve for 1 year. The ruler of the country was the emperor. The leaders of the country were consuls. So sort these statements to match the era. Pause the screen. So now you've done that, you're going to do your independent task. Describe the features of government during the 3 separate periods of Roman civilization. So you have the era of kings, the republic, and the empire. So what I would do is write these headings in your book. Actually, what you can do is write era of kings in your book and then pause the screen. Have a look at this slide again. This information is going to help you collect information and facts to write down underneath the title that you have, which is the era of kings. Pause the screen. Now write down the second heading, the republic, and then pause the screen. The information on this slide should help you. So you're going to collect and write down some information about the republic underneath the heading that you have written earlier. Pause the screen. Now write down the final heading, which is the empire. Pause the screen. Now on this slide, this is some information that is going to help you. So you need to read through and write down any key facts that have anything to do with the empire. Okay, so you have this slide, you can pause the screen. And you have this slide, pause the screen. If you have sorted these statements, you can use these as well to support the work that you have written and collected under the 3 headings that you have. Pause the screen if you need to. And if you finished all three and you'd like a challenge, there's a challenge underneath here, and it is a question. Why did the monarchy end and a republic begin? So you need to look at links and effects in the changes of government, consider motivations of past people, like the name Tarquin the Proud suggests he was not a ruler who took advice, so Roman people wanted to share the power of government. So here's an example of what your work could look like. And finally, I have some questions for you to answer. The first question is, why was this a revolutionary form of government? The second question, who was allowed to become part of the Senate? Is this the same as today? Third question, who was allowed to vote? Is this the same as today? And the fourth and final question, why do you think the consuls were only allowed to serve for 1 year? Pause the screen and see if you can answer in full sentences. And that is it for this session. So we are learning this so that in future we can describe some of the beliefs and practices of ancient Romans. Once you have finished this work, go over to Purple Mash and complete the 2 quiz for our history for this week. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.